effective and efficient are people who could see through the noise and really get to the signal, be able to separate yourself outside of the metaphor of the matrix, so that you could have clarity of purpose, you know. And I think one of the things that's really powerful also is just a lot of people, they give away their sovereignty and their power first thing in the morning. Like the first thing in the morning, they'll pick up their phone and they'll check everything, you know, because there's the way it's set up, right? They're getting their dopamine fixes, and it's just really rewiring their brain. So it's training them just to be distracted all the time.
Can I stop you for a second?
Sure.
That was so rad. You give up your sovereignty and your power. That's incredible, dude. What's your morning routine look like? How does one avoid falling into the trap of reaching right for the cell phone and letting the world dictate?
I mean, I think, okay, so I like really managing my first hour of the day and the last hour of the day, because it just, that's where I could control. Like sometimes when you go to the office, things are gonna hit you and such like that. But here, when you wake up, instead of reaching for your phone, right? Because first of all, I always I don't keep the phone actually I don't touch my phone the first hour. Because the problem is when you check for your email, for instance, all you're training yourself is just how to respond. You're reacting to everybody else's demands that they have for you, all their requests of the things that they're sending you. And so that's something that I don't want to train my brain to do. I meditate 20 minutes in the morning. You know, I have a full glass of water. I plan my day. I just write down 3 business things that I want to be able to focus on, and then 3 personal things. And that's a win for me. I don't have to go through a checklist of 200 things. If I just do these 3 things, it's a win for me. You know, even Will Smith, he says, if you know, 2 most important things, just run and read every day. Do something physically and something mentally to be able to keep yourself engaged and active to it.
There's just all kinds of little hacks and manipulations that you can do, but most people are just incredibly blind.
There's so many distractions and there's so many enemies that are out there, and it's literally rewiring our brain. Even social media, the challenge is, you know, with these terms like Facebook depression and everything.
What's that?
This is social media depression, because whereas everyone's looking at their feed and they're comparing their lives to other people, their highlights of other people's lives.
Wow.
And there's actually less life satisfaction, more sadness, depression, and stuff like that, because everyone is comparing themselves to.
Wow, that's a thing.
Posting. And it's a challenge, but more and more time is spent there. But you mean these devices are created to literally jolt you with dopamine, give you these fixes. And also, the other reason why you want to routine your life that's important is because a lot of people nowadays, in addition to the overload and the overwhelm we all feel from the demands, is something called decision fatigue. And decision fatigue is saying that, latest research is saying that you can only make a set amount of good decisions a day. And then after that, you can't. And so people like, even simply, you've heard that Mark Zuckerberg or Tony Hsieh, they wear the same clothes every single day, the same sweatshirt, the same Zappos t-shirts, and you ask them, not the same, you know, they have their whole wardrobe, 20 of them, but the reason why is because they don't want to waste a decision on what should I wear today when they could be working on, you know, the things that they're most, you know, excited about.
Not win the war against the world if you can't win the war against your own mind. Self-discipline is the center of all material success. 99% of people are not willing to do what it takes to make their dreams come true. The Marines have a saying, everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. And that's just real. At the center of bringing any dream into fruition is self-discipline. Something as simple as food and eating. It's not about your body as much as it is about your mind. It's getting command of your mind to be able to choose actions that are in your own best interest.
Questions in the community that we get is, Jim, what do you do every single morning to jumpstart your brain for greater success, greater levels of focus, greater levels of productivity? So I'm going to walk you through my morning routine. The first thing I do when I wake up in the morning is I have a process to remember my dreams. Now, you're like, Jim, why do you want to remember your dreams? The reason why is often as you spend your day learning and working to solve problems in your work, in your life, and everything else, when you sleep, your mind doesn't stop. Your unconscious mind is still working on those problems, and you come up with incredible insights and solution. The challenge is in the morning, most people don't remember their dreams, so we teach a process on how to do that. The second thing I do after I wake up is I get out of bed and I make my bed. You're like, Jim, why is that good for your brain? Two reasons. Number one, clean environment is important for you. Like, you know, when you clean off your desktop, you clean up your office, your bedroom, you have a clearer mind. The second reason why is I want to start my day with success, because how you do anything is how you do everything. So you start with excellence. Take 2 minutes, make your bed, and it's really great because when you come home at the end of the day, you come back full circle, back to success. The third thing I do is I drink a lot of water. Your brain is mostly water, 80% water, and a lot of people dehydrated. You use so much water, and it's so important for your brain to be hydrated. The challenge is you lose a lot of water when you're sleeping, so I super hydrate first thing in the morning. Then what do? I brush my teeth. You're like, Jim, why do you brush your teeth? How's that good for your brain? What you do is you brush your teeth with your opposite hand. It's been shown that by using your opposite hand to eat or to brush your teeth, as your body moves, your brain grooves. As you brush your teeth with your opposite hand, it actually creates more neural connections inside your brain. How do you learn a subject or skill in half the time? Let's do this together. I want you to right now think of a subject or skill that you just want to learn fast. You want to learn it rapidly at an accelerated rate. You want to learn faster so you can achieve faster. I want you to remember 4 letters, F-A-S-T. F-A-S-T, fast. And the F stands for forget. You're like, Jim, you're this world-class memory expert. You're this coach to all these celebrities and CEOs. Why are you starting with forgetting? You want to forget what you already know about the subject so you can learn something brand new. Often a lot of people don't learn faster because they feel like their cup is full and they feel like they know it already. So always remember to start with the beginner's mind. I would also say forget about what's going on in the world and anything that's not urgent, important in your world, because if you try to think about things that are going on and be present, you can't do that. And you're only using a fraction of your own potential if you're distracted. I would also say forget about your limitations, because you don't know what you don't know. Often people will see me on stage memorize 100 people's names or 100 words, numbers backwards and forwards, and I always tell you, I don't do this to impress you, I do this to express to you what's really possible, because the truth is you could do it too. Regardless your age, your background, your education, you're just not taught how to do it. If anything, you were taught a lie that somehow your intelligence, your memory, your learning is somehow fixed like your shoe size. But we know that your learning is absolutely limitless. So set your limitations aside and forget about them. The A in FAST stands for active. What do I mean by active? If you feel overloaded with too much to learn and too little time, like do you have books on your shelf you haven't read yet? You get more than 10 emails a day? You listen to podcasts, there's so much information out there. But if you feel like you're stressed, like you can't keep up, here's the thing, it's not your fault. You know why? It's because we all grew up with the 20th century education that prepared us for a 20th century world, which at the turn of the century was working in factories and farms. But now we live in an age of autonomous electric cars and spaceships that are going to Mars. But our vehicle of choice when it comes to learning is like a horse and buggy. And one of the challenges is our schools train us to be very passive. Sit quietly by yourself, be lectured to, just consume information. But your brain doesn't learn based on consumption, it learns through creation. And so learning is not a spectator sport. You have to get involved. You have to take great notes. You have to ask lots of questions. There's so many things you could do to be more active. The S in FAST stands for state. What do I mean by state? I mean the current mood of your mind and your body. Because here's the key to a better memory. Information combined with emotion becomes a long-term memory. Information combined with emotion becomes a long-term memory. What do I mean by that? Is there a song or a fragrance or a food that could take you back to when you were a child? Of course, because information combined with that emotion becomes a long-term memory. The challenge back in school is what was the driving emotion you had back in school? For most people, they were bored, right? And if you times anything by 0, what do you get? You get 0. So most people don't remember what they learned back in school because of the state. Remember this, all learning is state dependent. All learning is state dependent. That if you want to learn more, control your state. Now, who's in control of your state? You are, because you are a thermostat, you're not a thermometer. What do I mean by that? What does a thermometer do? A thermometer reacts to the environment. It reflects what the environment is giving it. And so we are all thermometers at some point, and that affects our state, right? We react to the weather, we react to the economy, we react to how people treat us. But in reality, where's the locus of focus?
Number 5 is a positive peer group, because we are where we are our thoughts, but we are the people we spend time with. You know, they say we're the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with, because who you are is who you become. And from a neurological standpoint, it's true because we have these mirror neurons that are your imitation cells that, it's why children learn something so quickly, because they don't even listen. They just do what people do. You are who you spend time with. Because here's the thing, when it comes to your learning and your brain performance, your power, it's not just your biological networks or even your neurological networks, it's your social networks, right? So that's why mastermind groups are so important, having tight, positive peer group, being around people that inspire you, that challenge you.
If you eat that pizza, you won't feel like shit. I love you too much to let you eat that. And I think the word discipline has kind of gotten a bad name. We think about it in terms of punishment. I'm not talking about in that way. I'm talking about discipline in the sense that you forego immediate pleasure for the exchange of long-term self-respect. Self-love is when you say to yourself, man, look, I know you and that girl got a real connection. I know y'all vibe, but it's your girl's cousin. So I love you too much to let you do that. Self-love is, hey, look, I know you got a test on Monday, I know you really want to go out with your friends, and Saturday night you want to go out, but if you fail that test, you're not going to feel good about yourself. I love you too much to let you go out. Self-discipline is self-love. If you want to be happy, you have to love yourself, which means you have to discipline your behavior. Road to sustained happiness is through disciplining your behavior.